Welcome back to Fresh Nest Podcast. This is going to be our recap for All Stars Episode 4. My name is Zach, and as always, I'm joined by my wife, Hannah.
Hey, what's up?
My best friend, Jake.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Yeah, right when I hit record, Hannah decided, let's try to sneeze.
No, I was trying to
And
stop
you gave
it.
her the... Like,
I didn't even see it. My eyes were closed the whole time.
If your hand could talk, you were saying,
I was like, we've been sitting here talking, not recording for like 15 minutes. And then as soon as I hit the button, she goes,
I didn't make a noise at all.
If you want to hear what we were talking about, check out an upcoming Redemption House on our Patreon.
Check it out. That's not out yet. It is going to be a good one.
It will be a good one.
Because
it's a continuation.
For all of our patrons, I don't know what episode of Redemption House it was.
It was a long time ago. It was right when we moved into this house, so it was like almost a year and a half ago.
Well, guys, I think we figured out what happened.
We didn't figure anything out.
Well, according to Jake and I think we figured out what happened to the missing hot dog from a year ago.
Well, and here's how tense the conversation got. Is in the midst of this whole story being told, Han got a little aggressive over here and gave you the, don't cut me off. Don't cut me off.
And it was
which made me real uncomfortable because she every now and then Han gets this fire in her eyes. And they get big, very Brad Bug Eyes-esque.
Okay, yeah.
Excuse you.
No, I don't mean you're beautiful, Han, but her eyes get big, right? And that's when you know she means it. Whatever she's saying in that moment, she means it.
In that specific moment, it was something that was trying to distract you from the facts that I had presented.
So you were
trying... it was not. It was
Guys,
part of the conversation.
We can't talk about it right now.
But here's the thing. You're not going to cut me off.
There
not
it is.
In my house.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
We gotta. This is for Redemption House. That's going to be coming later. By the way, this is a late episode of All Stars. We're recording this on Monday. We're aware they come out on Thursdays. It's just
we know the things.
No, it's my fault.
It's not your fault.
It is my fault.
It's just things came up and we had to move recording. And the good news is, well, good and bad news. One, Double Agents is over, kind of. Apparently, the news came out today that the reunion is 2 1.5 hour episodes. So if that's the truth, then we will not be doing 2 separate reunion podcasts for Double Agents. We'll wait till both air.
Is this what that movie Misery with Kathy Bates was all about?
I've never seen that movie. The only thing I know about that movie is she has a guy tied to the bed. Do you know about this?
No.
She has a guy tied to the bed, which I think it is. What's his name? I can't think of his name. But his feet are tied to the bed. His hands are tied to the bed. She's basically holding him hostage. She puts a board between his legs, like between his ankles, so like he can't move him in, and then she takes a hammer to the sides of his shins to break his legs, so they won't. Yeah, so she can't get away. That's the only thing I know about that movie.
I don't like that.
Yeah. Ooh. Well, why did you bring that up?
Because that's Misery.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not Kathy Bates in Misery, but it might as well be because there's no reason to have a 3 hours of reunion. It's going to be like an hour of Fessy talking about how good he is, and then
an hour of everybody coming at him.
Well, and then like 15 minutes of Corey talking about he's doing it for his kids, and then 30 minutes of Leroy saying it's his last season, and then like it's just, I don't know what you could possibly make 3 hours out of for this finale.
No idea.
So. If that is the case, we're only going to do one podcast for the finale, which will be after part 2. Well, the good news is now we can start recording these Thursday nights after All Stars drop. So these will be coming more frequently. And I know there's only 5 episodes left after this week, but we will be able to do these. So you'll get this one tonight if you're on Patreon, I guess. And then
Tonight?
Tomorrow for the main feeds, which is Tuesday, and then you'll get a new episode from us on Thursday, I'm assuming, unless the Double Agents info is wrong and then we have to record. So that's our plan as of right now. Patreon.com/SmashingHisPodcast. Again, you get it all ad free and all that type of stuff. We did the finale 1 and 2 as one giant podcast, and one person got mad about that.
Yeah.
And I was like, what a weird thing to be upset about.
Well, here's the thing. What was do we want to say what the specific tweet was?
No, it was I posted, hey, we made a giant pod of the finale part 1 and 2. Part 1's been on our Patreon for a week, and then part 2 is up now, but we put them together for the main feed listeners as one giant podcast. And someone was just like, way to alienate your quote main fan.
Well, you just said the tweet, so
well, I thought you meant like the user or whatever.
No, I was talking about the tweet, to which my response was, wouldn't our patrons be our main listeners?
That's what
right?
Well, I mean, I replied back, and I was like, what a weird thing to be upset about. And I was like, it's still free and up. Like, nothing's hidden. Like, it's just together in one big thing, and one of them is a week later. And I was like, and we do take care of our patrons. Like, they're the priority.
Yeah.
I mean,
we try to do extra things
directly
for
support the show, so we gave it to them early. And I was like, it's a free show that's been up for free every week for like 3 years. And then they kind of backtracked and were just like, no, I'm just a fan. I'm glad I got new stuff to listen to. And I was like, well, okay. I was like, thank you. And I deleted the original tweet. I was like, it came across kind of weird. And I was like, but we're good. And I don't know. It's one you can't tell always with Twitter and with text and things. Jake knows about this.
Yeah,
you can't tell. And so it was just like, well, we weren't hiding anything. We just waited a week, and you know what? We got a bunch of new patrons from it, and like that wasn't really like, we weren't trying to be like sneaky about anything, but we were just like, let's get it up on our Patreon first.
No, I think we outright said that's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
So no sneaky play here. And so shout out to everyone who joined up to get that, that first pod early. We're greatly appreciative for it.
Yeah.
Stay tuned because more content's coming. And here's the thing, like, I don't think this goes without saying, we haven't discussed it, but I mean, obviously, the more patrons we get, the more, I think, demand it creates for different content.
Well, and now that we're not having 2 shows to recap each week, now that Double Agents is winding down, it just gives us that much more freedom and like flexibility schedule wise. So yeah, we have a lot of things we want to do.
Because you and I have thrown out some ideas, right? Mm-hmm. And maybe now,
one idea I threw out to our Patreon, and they were like, "Oh, Challenge Mania just started doing something like that like a week ago," and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Yeah. I mean, nothing against them. It's just a similar thought process. So I was like, "Well, let's go back to the drawing board on that."
But there's things we clearly.
What was it?
Okay. There's things we clearly want to do, but you have to understand, you're listening to 3 people who still work full-time jobs.
Yeah.
And second jobs.
And third jobs, honestly, Han.
Yeah.
And so, we're all super involved with other things outside of our regular jobs. And but we love doing this. And so I think it's a matter of, we definitely want to provide more content. But one, we want to make sure we're not spreading ourselves too thin, while also making sure that if and when we do it, it's top notch.
Which is why, honestly, like I don't think we've even addressed it on this show. Jake and I had another podcast that we've been doing for about a year and a half, or maybe it was a year. I don't know. It's like, I think it's a year and a half, and we just decided to walk away from it and be able to focus more of our energy on this show and just life in general, because we were spreading ourselves too thin.
Because the thing we were podcasting on at that point, for me at least, wasn't fun anymore.
Yeah, it was becoming more of a like, oh, we have to do, like, we would forget, like, oh, we need to record. It's just that type of thing. And so we were like, you know what, it makes sense to just kind of end it right here. And so we did. And it's better. Like we had honestly come to that decision on our own, and then we found out the network we were on was dissolving, and so perfect timing. Like, it just makes sense. And so, also, if that's why you see all of our artwork and stuff doesn't say lineups anymore, it's because it doesn't exist. But
rest in peace.
It's been a blessing, honestly. We probably will talk about more of that on our Redemption House, but. Anyway, we're hoping to be able to ramp up more Patreon content as these seasons aren't overlapping anymore, and that's been not a fun thing. I mean, I get why Paramount Plus did what they did, but we do know, this isn't spoilers or anything, calls are going out for another season of All Stars.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
Rightfully so.
I think it's performed very well.
People have loved it so far.
We're 4 episodes in.
Yeah.
I haven't been
I haven't
bored
had
to
any
watch
issues.
it.
No.
I haven't dreaded watching it. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, even with like the craziness that happens at the end of this episode, which I've got some issues with.
Yeah. Yeah.
More of what she did. We'll get into that. That's the whole point of this podcast. We're going to talk about this episode, but yeah, again, it's patreon.com/SmashingHeads podcast. We're going to be recording this weekend. Also, like now that the weather's out, we've been playing a lot more tennis together. And did I say the weather's out?
Yes. Now that the weather's out.
The weather's out, it's a new thing that just came out. Now that the weather's nice out, or getting that way, we've been doing that a lot. But now this kind of frees up our schedule, not having a Wednesday night show and a Thursday night show, and then Wednesdays we can't record most of the time anyway, so that was pushing everything back. So again, just check it out, patreon.com/SmashingHeads SmashingHeadsPodcast.com/store merch. And other than that, yeah, let's jump into episode 4 of All Stars, which by the way opened with a DMX song again. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
There's no way they knew that was coming. They just happened to choose 2 of his songs for 2 different episodes, which why not? I mean, it's if you want something to get you turned up right as the episode starts, that's the way to do it.
It's DMX.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hannah's dad is a white guy that lives on a farm out in the country. He loves DMX.
Is that right?
My dad is the reason I know who DMX is. He's been singing DMX since I was
The y'all gonna make me lose my mind.
at least 10. That is his, you ask him, that is his favorite song.
So
Sings it all the time.
DMX reaching all demographics.
My very white father.
When he was put to rest this past week, they had
not her dad.
No,
DMX.
not her
No,
dad.
my daddy's doing just
He's
fine.
still singing all day.
Still singing, still farming.
When they put DMX to rest, they drove through downtown New York, I guess Manhattan area, in a big monster truck with his casket in the back.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like,
Very
what,
fitting.
what a way to go out. Did you ever watch Cradle to the Grave?
No.
I didn't either, but isn't he in that with Jet Li? DMX and Jet Li.
Do you know
not
who Jet
Hannah's
Li
dad.
is?
Yeah, I'm aware of Jet Li.
Yeah.
Jet Li's in the one.
Okay, he's in a lot of movies, but I'm 99% sure DMX and Jet Li are in Cradle to the Grave.
Okay.
Yeah, we need to watch that. Maybe we'll do that for Redemption House or something.
We still got to watch Kid Nation.
No, that's true. Yeah. Did you know that Nehemiah wanted to use all of his money to, not all of it, but he wanted to use money to open educational centers to teach basically underprivileged people how to get financial freedom?
Yeah.
You knew that?
No, I remember it from this episode,
okay.
so
I thought that was awesome. Like,
Nehemiah's a great guy.
he's just amazing. Absolutely amazing. Cradle to the Grave is a 2003 American action film starring Jet Li and DMX.
That's it.
Told you. Knew it. It's got 4-wheelers in it. I know that. They do stunts with 4-wheelers.
Around the same time he was featured in Def Jam.
Fight for New York and Jeff Jam.
Okay. Jeff Jam.
It's Jeff Jam. That's her dad's game.
Yeah.
Def
Way
Jam,
to come full circle.
Yeah.
Def Jam Vendettas. Those are 2 of the best fighting games of all time, and they never ported them past the original Xbox or PlayStation 2. They should still be available because those games were super fun. You could be Carmen Electra and fight like Busta Rhymes. Like, that's a good time.
Method Man? Wasn't Method Man?
Method Man, Red Man, Slick Rick, all these like old school guys too.
Yeah.
Did you
I
know?
want to talk. Let's make a Def Jam Fight for New York podcast.
I think they missed a real opportunity not having Ja Rule in there.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you might. I don't remember.
Did you know DMX was also in a movie called Fast and Fierce Death Race?
That sounds like one of those parody movies.
Oh, he would have been great in the Fast and Furious movies.
It like the cover for the movie looks like a Fast and Furious movie, which are Zach's favorite movies.
Yeah.
You know, there's a new one coming out this year.
This has a 2.1 on IMDb.
Yeah.
Jake, are you going to see the new Fast and Furious
We're
with
going to go
us?
see it together.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably going to want to see like midnight premiere.
That's the last time I cried in a movie.
Fast and Furious Death Race came out last year.
What? No way.
Oh, dang. Okay.
The cover art looks like it was like 10 years ago.
No. We're going to need to watch that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's DMX.
Yeah. Jake cried. What was it? Into 7? Then
Yeah. Paul Walker.
because Paul Walker had just died, and they used his brother, and they did the whole. It's been a long. Who sings that song? Charlie
Puth.
Yeah.
Man, that with
It's
him
the
and-
only Charlie Puth song I don't like.
But when they do that iconic shot of the camera up top
And
and
they
they just
diverge,
split,
yeah.
like, man, that is perfect symbolism.
Listen, you know what? Shout out to Logan, Rotten Bananas. He's doing. I think at some point he was going to be doing a podcast thing on the Fast and Furious movies, and I was like, Logan, when you do this, I was like, you have to let me talk about them. I was like, because I've been preaching the gospel of Fast 5 onward.
You have. Everybody we meet.
4's fine. 3 is not good. The first 2 don't care about. 5 on through 8 right now, and I'm not even going to. Even Hobbs and Shaw was great. I'm not even going to watch the trailer for Fast 9 because I'm going to go see it as soon as it comes out. And
You don't want to spoil anything.
no, I don't need to. And it's just if you think they're stupid, 1, you're stupid.
Yeah.
2, there's some of they might be the great, like 5 through 8 might be the greatest action franchise that has ever existed. It is on par with all of the Marvel Cinematic Universe because they just bring people in, and then at some point down the line, they're like, oh, they're good guys now. And
Yeah.
they just get to be part of the main show.
If you don't believe us, take it from Paul Scheer, June Diane Raphael,
Jason Mantzoukas.
Adam Scott from Parks and Rec.
They watch every single one of them and do a podcast about it for how did this get made, and they're like, we know how this got made because it's amazing.
Yeah, no, it's top notch. Like you get to just remove yourself from reality,
Yeah.
while also there being a level of realism
And family.
and family.
And loyalty.
It teaches you real values while also using real human beings. They're not suited up.
They're in real cars.
They do a lot of practical
Vin Diesel
effects.
has wore the same tank top for the last 20 years.
and if that's not reality, I don't know what is.
His son is playing his young self in this movie.
Is that right?
His real son in real life.
How about that? Do you know who the bad guy is in this movie?
I don't. I know that John Cena's in it,
Oh my gosh.
which is just a great. It's
It's
so
great
good.
casting. Great casting.
Guys,
I thought
listen,
they couldn't top.
I know this
bringing
is an
in
All Stars
The Rock.
podcast, but you could see how.
Hey, the Fast and the Furious. That's the original All Stars. That's an all-star cast right there.
Here's the thing.
God, Ann.
Here's the thing. Hannah did not like. She didn't want to watch them. She didn't care
Okay,
about. Hold on. She didn't care
Don't-
about him at
tell
all.
her, don't interrupt me.
Don't you interrupt me.
Okay.
She didn't
Okay.
care.
You don't get to talk to me
She
like
didn't
that.
care at all about them. She refused to watch them. And
Can I say why?
Why are you raising your hand?
Can I say why? I was just going to preface my cousin and all of his buddies. Like, I would just hang out with him and all of his friends. Just me
We're gonna
stuck
get
in
to
a group
All-Stars, guys.
in a group full of boys who love.
They got their lifted up trucks and stuff, don't they?
No, they had the little cars, the little Honda Civics, and like they were just totally enthralled with the Fast and the Furious. But they watched 1 through 3.
Which are the worst.
But this was before 5 was even out, and so they made me sit and watch 1 and 2, and I hated it, and that was why I never wanted to watch them.
Y'all got to understand about the South. There's this weird thing with. I mean, I can speak to this. I live in the South.
True.
I've been known to have a real kind of Southern tone, but there's this weird stigma that's spot on where all these country boys. I never did it, but we gather in a parking lot and we just sit there and we're just like, God dog, look at that truck, just lift it up right there.
Oh, I used to be stuck in the back.
Let
of
me
the
see.
truck
Go ahead and
while
pop
they
the
talked
hood up.
about
Let me see what you're working with.
They never talked like that.
Thank God that's not Fast and Furious.
It is not. If that's what you think it is,
But it is that one
shame
guy
on
from
you.
Tokyo Drift.
Yeah, it was that kid
Yeah.
from Horse Sense.
Yeah.
On the Disney Channel. Anyway, guys, we could talk a lot about this. I'm not kidding.
There might be a redemption house after this next movie comes out, after we watch it.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be great. It's the same guy that writes and directs all. It's gonna. I don't even need to say anything. Jake cried.
It's just
I
gonna.
did.
Jake
I
cried
cried.
in the theaters. And
Dwayne The Rock Johnson is in it.
Idris Elba was in the last one. There.
Oh, man,
That's
yeah.
all I needed to know to go to watch that one.
Ludacris started out as like a guy who like stole VCRs, and now he's like a cyber terrorist for the U.S. Like it's insane.
Also, who doesn't love Ludacris?
Listen, guys,
Don't forget about Kurt Russell,
Kurt Russell was in it. I forgot about that.
Did forget about that.
who's a legend in his own right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, there's a lot of good things going on, but we got to get back. You guys, Arissa's a cannabis chef.
What do you want me to do with that information?
I know that Ron Funches is hosting like a version of Chopped on Netflix that's about cooking with cannabis.
Do you think Arissa will try out for that?
I don't think they're ever going to let her come back on TV.
Hey, Beth misses her husband and her kids.
She sure does.
Is this what this pod's going to be? We're just, hey, this.
No, I don't. That's not what I want to do. Also, I didn't have anything about Beth here.
Well, there was like a whole thing because like Cyrus started talking. He was like, I know her whole family personally. And
She got to FaceTime with him.
She did. And Cyrus said he knows that she can't not wear her emotions on her sleeves. I didn't know that about her. I learned something new.
This is the most manufactured.
What do we know about any of these
Yeah.
people?
Exactly.
I can't.
Katie has gas in her tank. I did not know that about her.
I can't concentrate because Jake's scratching his leg and it's so loud.
It's somehow your fault.
Yes. I'm the one.
Yeah. So, anyway, Katie has been working out. Let's go on from there. We get to Daily. Daily's caught on the ropes. Basically, you saw what happened. They got like 4 or 5 ropes. They've got to traverse across, go from one side to the other. As soon as they make it back, they can release a rope on the other team to make it harder. They said they randomly picked the teams. I told Hannah when they were picking them, I was like, the gold team's going to win for sure. Like, unless something crazy happens, like, everyone on that team, Anissa's arguably the worst one on that team, and she still competes in all these dailies and, like, will do better than a lot of these other people.
And just in general, another top-notch daily.
Yeah, good daily.
Really cool daily.
Yeah. Again, the teams were Copper was Arissa, Big Easy, John A, Alton, and Katie. Other than Alton, that team's kind of not great. The black team was Kendall, Latarian, Kellyanne, Darrell, and Hasela. Gold is Ruthie, Derek, Anissa, and Mark. And then the silver team. Silver team.
Yeah.
Well, I saw Ruthie.
You screwed up.
Hannah, we can't even get into it. It's for Redemption House. The silver team was Cyrus, Jimmy, Nehemiah, Beth, and Darrell. They made Darrell go again. Here's the thing. It is weird to have an elimination like this and not have even number teams. I know in our Slack group, some people theorized that they moved the trivia up early because of how hard the first like dailies were. Like the first, like no one could compete in the first daily. Mm-hmm. They know everyone can do trivia. And so I wonder if trivia was actually supposed to come later and this was supposed to be an even number. Because now they're just like, oh, Darrell, you got to go twice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And well, see, I told you I thought trivia seemed a little early to
you
do
also
like
told
the
us
second
I didn't
daily.
know that, Beth.
But listen, after that recap podcast was put out, some of our patrons got in our Slack group and they were like, Hannah, you're right. I also thought trivia typically comes later in the season. And I was like, I'm glad I'm not alone in this.
Well, there's never been like a set time for it.
No, but it is usually at least closer to the midway point.
This is a real abbreviated season.
This blew your mind a couple weeks ago. You couldn't believe it.
I couldn't.
I
was shell-shocked.
One thing that happened in this with the Copper team, who I said, again, is not the best. There has to be a male captain and a female captain. Male, if they win, they get to be the lifesaver, whatever. The female is safe from elimination, but if they lose, the female goes directly into elimination. Mm-hmm. And John A was made to be the captain of the Copper team. Like Arissa and Katie and I guess it was just Arissa, Katie. They were just like, well, we don't really want to be it. You should be it.
Well,
and
it was more Arissa.
Yeah.
Arissa like came at her and was like, you need to be the one that's team captain this time. And Katie didn't, from what I saw, Katie didn't really pipe up. She just kind of let it happen.
Why would you? Yeah. Like,
Speaking of Arissa, what was her last season?
I couldn't even tell you. Probably like the dual one or something like that.
Because I know it's not one that
I think she was only on like Battle of the Sexes.
Yeah, it was,
like
it was a long time ago.
It was one season. Yeah,
I know it's one that I haven't seen because they had a confessional with Arissa, and she was basically saying that she feels some type of way about not winning that season. To which I was like, well, I know I haven't seen it because this is my first...
Battle of the Sexes 2.
This is my first introduction to Arissa, so I don't know what kind of competitor she is or what she brings to the table, and I don't know how close she was to winning that season.
Well, if you ask Alton, totally different person on this show.
Yeah.
Really?
She made it to episode 17 on Battle of the Sexes 2. So I mean that's got to be pretty far. And I don't know if it was the final or not. Let me look at that. It doesn't say. She just. Oh no, it was the final. So she made it to the final. She just didn't win.
Okay.
And listen, she's like I don't remember that season. I don't even honestly know if I ever watched Battle of the Sexes 2. That's kind of in that time frame where we kind of started watching, but I don't remember exactly which ones I did and didn't. She does not seem stable this whole time she's been on this show. And I mean last week we were like, oh, she's summoning Captain Planet or whatever, but like there's a difference in that and then like what we saw tonight, or well not tonight but whenever we watched this.
Was this episode the one where she was isolating herself from the rest of the house, or was that last episode? I mean it was like a night out, and she
it happened in this one.
She very much kept herself away from every single other person.
Yeah, it happened in this one, and then she like fell asleep in another episode, like at the night out. Mm-hmm. She's just. We'll get into her in a little bit. Basically, John A's captain. Hasela calls out Kendall because there's weird beef between Hasela and Kendall, and I'm still not 100% sure what started it.
I didn't catch that, but Hasela was saying that she doesn't trust Kendall for anything, and then tells it to her face.
There's a real disdain there, and I can't figure it out.
I don't know what sparked it, because like we see later on, which, by the way, the voting process of this elimination is insane.
Yeah, it was wild.
Once the Lifesavers played.
Mm-hmm.
She calls Kendall out, and I mean, I get Kendall did quit on that one daily. Like, she deserved to be called out. She went into elimination, whatever, but I don't know. Hasela is the first one to fall when it came to this daily. John A does a butt scoot. I'll give it to John A. She tried really hard, and then
she didn't give up.
Kellyanne got her with like a foot left on the rope.
Kellyanne had made it down and back.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, if you're scooting on your butt, you're not going to be, going very fast.
Uh-huh.
And you know what? I'll give it to John A. though. She didn't quit. Like, she was trying, and Kellyanne just made a really brutal move to drop her.
Jimmy, in the middle of all this, calls Kendall the original Barbie Beast, which is the nickname that has been dubbed for Jenna for several years.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's deserved, if I'm being honest. Like, I don't feel like she's anything like you got to worry about. If I'm being like
Kendall,
no, like Jenna, she's very middle of the road to me.
She did surprisingly well in a lot of eliminations that she was in.
You're talking to not only the Dunbar stand here, but also the Jenna stand.
Yeah.
So you're talking to.
You're not going to talk.
You're not going to.
Nothing about Jenna.
So that's double negative, so that means I am going to.
No, you're not.
Alton basically just tells Katie to jump off the side. Cause
he whisper encourages her to just jump off.
Well, that's because he knows she's not going to do it, and it's just going to waste time. He's like, just get out of here. Like, Alton, like, if there's one person that I was like, oh, it's if you could pick one guy to, like, go against a team of 5 people, Alton would be the one that I'd put my money on to have the best odds to win on his own. Because I think they showed, like, some clips of him, like, climbing nets and ropes and stuff from, like, some past eliminations. Like, he's just a freak.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
it's like Leroy in that hanging, like, elimination, like, with the rope. Like, Alton, if you have to have him climb, like, he's going to destroy it.
Yeah.
And, again, he just tells her to jump off. Katie knew what she was doing. Black team wins round 1, which was Kendall, Terry, and Kellie, and Darrell, and Hasela, even if Hasela fell off first. the next one was the two remaining teams. I don't remember. I think it was Derek and Nehemiah to start the next round, and Derek got the better of Nehemiah. It was close, but he got there first. And then in the middle of it, we get a confessional from Ruthie that was just like, yeah, I grew up in a foster home and all that, and I was like, that kind of came out. I don't know Ruthie's backstory because I didn't watch her Real World season. I always thought she was a really underrated competitor on the show. Jake, I think you took her second in this fantasy draft.
I did. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I didn't know that about her.
I have a very big soft spot for foster kids. Like, I want to bring them all home and love on them and give them everything in the whole world.
Well, bring Ruthie home.
She's older than us, so I don't know how that would work. Yeah, she could bring us home.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she wins and she has the money. She can bring us all home.
But if she's not technically adopted...
Well, I don't know. We don't know if she never got adopted.
Well, that's why I said if she's not...
You want Hannah to adopt her.
Yeah.
I don't know if the government will let that happen.
Can you adopt someone that's older than you?
That right there, isn't it? This is why we exist. For questions like that.
I bet you can't, if I'm being honest.
Think so?
How look up how old Ruthie is right now.
I'm going to guess 36, 37, something like that. I really don't. I don't have a clue.
So tight.
I don't think you can probably adopt someone older than you. When you do adopt someone, you can never undo it. Like, you can never like disown or like cut them out of your life. Like, they are with you forever. Yeah.
That's why it's such a major thing to get into the adoption process in the first place.
She's 44.
Whoa.
Okay, so Ruthie could be my mom.
Okay, that's disrespectful.
No, it's not. She and my mom are almost the same age.
Your mom's not competing on the challenge.
Well,
no.
If there's opportunity there to adopt Ruthie, would you do it? Yeah.
I don't know if I could.
He's not asking legally. He's saying morally.
Will you adopt Ruthie?
I don't know how to be a parent, though.
I
don't know how to parent someone that's the same age as my parent.
And I've been acting as y'all's kid for the last 5 years.
Yeah, but
I cried with y'all last night.
A child.
Let me rephrase that. I cried last night.
Yeah. Not because of us.
No.
I did not make
but
you
to
cry
say
last
with
night.
y'all would indicate we all cried together.
Yeah,
I
was the only one crying.
I didn't cry at all.
The silver team wins round 2. Just in case you wanted to know that. I didn't know if you guys saw it. They didn't address it. They just kind of showed like a quick couple cut shots. There was a lot of medics bandaging people up for rope burns.
I did not see any of that.
Yeah. They were like, Beth was all wrapped up. I think Casella and a couple their hands are wrapped, their forearms from where they were. John A. I think was one of them. John A's butt probably. Yeah, those ropes are kind of unforgiving. And the winner overall was the gold team,
stacked team,
which is who I figured would win. The losing team was the silver team, which again was Cyrus, Jimmy, Nehemiah, Beth, and then technically Darrell.
So that means
that's not right, is it?
You want the winning team.
The losing team was whatever team Beth was on, because Beth is now going straight into elimination.
For a second, I was so concerned about Arissa and then the vote to pull Katie out. I was like, wait, it was Katie and Arissa, but it's not. They vote.
No,
they vote
it
Arissa
was
in.
Beth. Beth was their team captain, so she's going straight into elimination.
Nehemiah, Jimmy, and Cyrus.
To which she said she was not feeling very confident about, because she misses her family and her husband, her kids so much that it's almost like she's kind of starting to check out.
Well, and we knew, because Mark Long said it on Twitter, this is the episode where TJ tells the person like from the trailer, like, hope to see you never, whatever. And I was like, I don't think Beth's going to be the one to quit.
No.
I was like, even if she misses her family, I feel like she understands the grand scheme of like how big of a deal it is that this is happening. And I was like, I don't think it's her. And then the way that they kept focusing on Arissa throughout the episode with like Mark talking, I was like, I bet it's going to be Arissa somehow.
Well, I didn't put that together. I was just focused on Beth. She actually, after this, she met with Jimmy, Nehemiah, and Cyrus and said that she actually wanted Katie in the elimination. To which Jimmy was like, well, if you say Katie, Mark is absolutely 100% going to use the lifesaver on Katie to save her from elimination because they're really tight.
I don't even think it's that. I think Mark, because he's in a position of power to use it, and everyone's been so scared to from like a production mindset because he's the one who got all this rolling. I think he's like, if I don't take this opportunity to play this, we might go a whole season where no one does it. And so I need to get it out there what you do. And so I was like, whoever is going in, I was like, Mark's probably going to save him just so we have that out in the open. Because at this point, they're like, I don't know what happens. And
I agree with that. But also, Mark and Katie are actually really tight. And so everybody knew that if Katie was the one that was voted in, Mark was going to save her regardless.
I think Katie just nominates herself.
And then Beth says, well, if he uses a lifesaver on Katie, then I want Kendall to take her place. But then Jimmy and I think Cyrus or somebody else kind of tries to talk her into taking Arissa instead because she has a better chance at winning.
Well, Kendall's already won an elimination, and like at this point, some of these people have been away from competition for so long that like, why would you take a chance on someone who you've already seen win? Like, unless you're just feeling really confident about it. Like, if it's going to be like the pole wrestler or whatever, then Beth's got Kendall probably. Like, she's just bigger. But like, you don't know what it is, and it's not anything like that. But then they get to the deliberation. Katie's like, hey, I feel great. My arms aren't burned. I'm going in because I quit.
Well, she even went as far as to explain why she skipped out on the daily, because she's got that awful traumatic fear of falling into the water, and she's got a really bad history of getting injured.
I mean, it happened like a week ago.
Yeah. After her freaking out about the last time that she was hanging over water and then got injured. And I mean, like, a lot of people respected that, but, the fact that she recognized it and then nominated herself for elimination, I think was a good move. It was kind of like showing good sportsmanship, and a lot of people in the house really appreciated that.
Girl's really bad at falling off stuff.
Yeah,
she is really bad at falling from things.
But also, that's not a move that I don't think Katie would have done 10 years ago. Katie would have argued and fought and been like, I don't deserve it, blah, 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 screw you. Because she was a fighter back then. Like, she's a completely different person now, which Arissa is as well, but in a completely different way. After the deliberation, we go to the night out. They started with Notorious B.I.G., which that song only reminds me of the movie Hardball now. Mm-hmm. Which, that's a sad movie. If you want a sad movie, Hardball's a sad movie.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, G Baby.
You got that DVD hanging around somewhere.
I do, somewhere. Yeah, we need to watch that too. Keanu Reeves and Hardball.
Yep.
Have you ever watched that movie?
No, but there's a lot of movies in our house, Jake, that you've been trying to watch.
Is that true?
Yes,
he's been trying to watch movies and we won't let you.
He's been trying to watch the minis.
I mean, I don't.
He's been trying to watch the Great Calamari Wrestler.
I don't think Jake's tried to watch either.
Okay, it was right when he broke up with that last girl.
Here we go again.
Not the last one.
No, but like last year, he's like, he was wanting to come over every day, and he's like, we should just start watching movies together. And then you guys compiled a list of all the movies you're going to watch through.
Little aside on what Han just pointed out, I want to make an official announcement. I will no longer be talking about my dating life on this podcast. I have good reason. If you want to know, I'll share it on a Redemption House pod. But I will no longer be talking about my dating life on this podcast. It's over. It's done. Put it in ink.
Yeah, sign a contract.
Or put it in the podcast on the internet.
Arissa's just off in the corner, just hanging out, not doing anything. That's the point when Alton says she's changed. She's not the same person. Which, to an extent, like, yeah, you don't really want to be the same person you were when you were like 20 and on reality TV and whatever.
Yeah, you should be ever changing and evolving as a person to become a better version of yourself.
But you
literally every day of your life.
You don't want to. So, like, Katie's a great example. Like, completely different than what she was, but in like a totally positive way.
She's bettered herself.
Yeah,
so much.
Alton is a lot of the same, but like I would say like, oh, he's grown, like, you know, just living life, and apparently looks like he's a fishing captain or something. Like, that's just all he does, and
that's okay.
Yeah, I mean,
he pulls it off very well.
Aryssa's just, it's odd. Like, she just has an odd vibe to her, and I'm not 100% sure why she's on this show, other than I guess the allure of the money was really nice. Like, oh, I have a chance to win a lot of money, because like she's not in the right headspace to like compete, and like, I mean, it just comes out later. But like even like all the social times where they're just being friendly, like she's just off on her own. And it's just kind of strange.
Well, during that, Mark summoned all the girls in the house to come talk to him about the lifesaver and whether or not he should use it on them.
Some people on Twitter were calling him out about that, and like, oh, you're drunk with power. And he's like, guys, I was playing it up. It's a TV show. It's like, I knew what I was doing.
Yeah, get off your high horse.
Yeah, it's like,
you guys, not
Mark. Of course, like they're making a big spectacle of it because it's not Alyssa in the corner going to sleep. Like, they're playing around with it.
I mean, I thought it was cute. He had a makeshift construction paper crown that said The Godfather.
It reminded me of the kid from Recess, the King of Recess. They had the hockey stick and all that. That's a great show, by the way.
I think
never got into it.
I think Jimmy was the one that said he was drunk with power, maybe.
Of course.
And Derek was kind of like hyping him up as like his what's the word for it?
Jester, that
is the word. So Mark actually made a few promises to people about, you know, saying names or whatever if he were to use the lifesaver on Katie.
The next morning with Alyssa, he
promises not to say her name, to which my initial thought was he's either not someone that holds true to his word, or he is someone that holds true to his word, and I have no idea what kind of alliance he has in this house.
I don't know who he would have nominated if he had to nominate on his own.
I don't either. He flat out said he wants to throw in Kendall.
Yeah, he outright said Kendall.
Yeah, because they're not, quote unquote, vibing, and that, quote, she's exhausting, which surprised me because I thought they were tight.
No, I mean, I don't know where you got that from, other than they're both old.
No, I guess it was. I guess just seeing them from the season that they were on together.
They weren't on a season together.
Yes, they were.
Uh-oh.
Well, he wasn't on that season, was he? The Miz was. I don't think Mark was.
Here we go. Somebody, are you doing the research?
Yeah, I'll look it up.
But that would be a season you didn't watch.
She watched the one season Kendall was on.
Oh, is that right?
Uh-huh.
The Miz was there. You remember The Miz?
The Miz was
maybe
there.
It was The Miz, and maybe that's where I got confused. But
no, her and The Miz dated.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I thought Kendall and Mark had a friendship, but apparently not, because Mark has his target on Kendall and wants to get her out of the house.
Mark was not on that season.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, he thinks that she's exhausting, which what a brutal thing to say about somebody.
So we saw, what was it, last week, where she was like at the night out and was like drunk and like whatever, and maybe if that's what she was like for a while, like that could get on your nerves. But like, I mean, we've hung out with Kendall, we've like interviewed her and Tori together, like we met her in person, and
she's
like,
really cool.
Yeah, I didn't get that vibe from her at all, and so I don't know what it is in the house.
And we've even seen like it's like a big thing that's been brought up that all she does is yoga outside.
Well, it could be like, honestly, she's been away from this since 2003, that in the house she may just be a little anxious and whatever, and she may be a little bit of a loner and not overly friendly because it's such a weird thing to her. I mean, a lot of them are like that, other than Anissa and Darrell. And so, you know, it may be one of those things where she's like kind of guarded, and that's just not vibing with people, because there's clearly people who do not like her in this house.
Yeah, I just feel like I've missed something.
Well, you missed that Mark was not on the Inferno.
Okay, well, thank you.
He's also not a wrestler in WWE.
I didn't think he was.
They're trying to get him to play Johnny Cage. Did you see that?
Mark Long?
The Miz.
Oh, I was like, what?
Which would be perfect casting if I've ever seen it.
Have you watched the movies that he's been in?
The Miz?
Yeah.
What, like the Marine?
He's in like Shooter 3 or something, which is like the Mark Wahlberg
I
movie.
need to watch.
We've talked about a lot of movies, so
I need to watch some of those.
I don't think they're going to be good. So after Mark talks to Anissa, he again says he's going to put Kendall in. If he uses it, promise Anissa that he won't put her in. That's when Beth FaceTimes her family.
Okay.
And then we go to the arena, and like I figured would happen, Mark uses the lifesaver, even if he didn't necessarily want to save Katie or didn't care one way or the other. I think from just he didn't want people to be scared because Nehemiah and Kendall and whoever else have all been like, Hasela, I'm not going to use it because I really don't know what the consequences are.
Well, Hasela didn't use it because she was mad at whoever was in there. Ace.
Yeah. She's mad at a lot of people. She didn't like Ace. She didn't like Kendall. Which, I mean, again, those people, I don't get it. I don't know what their deal was.
Did you see that when Mark used the lifesaver on Katie, the camera cuts over to Beth and she like doubles over like she's gonna vomit?
I did not see that.
I saw that and I was like, man, she's really nervous about this.
I bet you were like, man, I didn't know Beth could vomit.
I didn't. I've never seen her do it.
I don't think any of us have. Yeah, he uses a lifesaver, and then TJ's like, all right, well, we're going to vote on who goes in now, and Darrell, we're starting with you on the spot. Let's go. And the voting gets real weird.
Some people did some
very bad
okay.
strategy. But that's why I do like on-the-spot voting, because there's some people you can tell that play very dumb.
Well, Darrell, I think, played it smart by, not wanting to just call out somebody's name out of nowhere unprovoked.
Darrell's a vet.
So he just asked Beth. He called out, Beth, who do you want? And she says Alyssa.
That's
so
easy.
He votes Alyssa.
Everyone else in that line who doesn't want to make any disturbances should just say Alyssa and get it over with, which a lot of them did. Because that's who Beth threw out.
Until like 4 people down, Anissa votes in Kendall. And then Kendall votes back Anissa.
Which is stupid.
Instead of voting for Alyssa.
Alyssa already had like 3 votes at that point. Voting for Anissa is essentially a vote for yourself.
And what made even less sense was Alyssa, instead of like calling back Kendall, she votes Kellie in.
Yeah, she just brings up someone new who's not even involved in the conversation. And it's just like, well, that's a burn vote.
That's a burn vote.
Like, you've just screwed yourself
out.
A
burn vote that was intended as a burn.
Yeah, like, gotcha. And it's like, okay, well.
But that didn't change anything.
Kendall's vote was dumb because she should have voted for Alyssa to just pile onto that train. Not Kellyanne, but, like, Arissa's vote was insane. Like, it doesn't make any sense to just throw out Kellyanne. Just name someone else who's been called on already.
Yeah.
And
heck, Anissa would have made more sense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I did think it was funny when Anissa wanted to fight who was
Big Easy.
Big Easy. But I don't know. It's just the voting process. You're like, wow, you can tell who hasn't done this type of show in a while.
Yeah.
Because man, the strategies make zero sense.
They don't know what they're doing.
Man, if Veronica would have been there, we saw what she did in that one thing where it flipped and she turned it on its head. Like, this was some of the dumbest voting. Every time someone did something new, I was like, what are they doing? And then Hannah was like, rewind it. Who did Mark vote for? And I was like, I don't think he voted.
Well, Mark.
And she's like, no, he did.
Mark, I thought everybody voted, but then I remembered Mark and Ruthie were the team captains for the winning team. So that means that they don't get to or have to vote. So that saved Mark from showing that card where he wants to cross Kendall. So, I mean, if he really does want to throw her into elimination later on, he can just save that for later.
Oh, there we go. He would have been so far in the voting process. He could have burned on Kendall just to keep his word to Alyssa, but Alyssa would have been going in by that point. I don't know. Hasela, again, very angrily threw one at Kendall. It's like, you don't vote for Anissa. And it's like, well, Anissa voted for her. Like, yeah. I don't know. It was
But
weird.
I think Alyssa, for whatever reason, just hates Kendall.
I'm talking about Hasela.
Yeah, Hasela. Hasela hates Kendall.
Yeah,
and I think that was just like one more thing for her to jump on.
Yeah, I don't know. Alyssa votes. I was like, literally the note I made was the voting was stupid, especially Kendall and Arissa's vote. But Alyssa goes down and she asks TJ, "Can we box?" And he just goes, "No." And
I thought that was a joke.
No, she's
but
serious.
Apparently it was dead serious because like she asked that, he says no, and then he explains how the elimination's going to go, which it was a little complicated for me to keep up with. I guess
Alyssa wouldn't have a shot in this elimination compared to Beth, I don't think. Because, like, Alyssa, there's not much to her.
Oh, man, you can't underestimate real anger.
And Captain Planet powers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
cannabis.
We didn't see her summon Captain Planet.
Summon
Captain Planet. But she, like, after TJ's done explaining how the eliminations played, she just takes off her helmet.
But like, so let's walk that back for a second. Like, what annoyed people like about the way that she did it, which again you had people that were like, we talked about, yes, queen, like whatever. No, this one, stop it.
One, don't say queen.
Yeah. Two,
or king.
She like went through the process of getting dressed and putting her helmet on, getting in position and all that, and waited till they were about to blow the horn. Like, if she wanted to just quit right away, I think what happened, she got in her mind and she saw what it was going to be, and she was going to lose really bad. And she had been talking up, "Oh, I'll beat anybody. Oh, you're not going to get between me and my money." And then she just freaked out and was like, "I'm quitting. F you guys. F this. Blah blah blah." And then just left. And because it's like you got to the point to where TJ was about to blow the horn.
Yeah.
It's not like you made the decision to like quit. It's like you like played it up, and so I think she just knew she was going to lose and made this big scene.
Well, she took off her helmet and said she wanted to address the house, and then she goes off on all of them about how foul they are for voting her in, and then
apparently just backstory on this from her side of things. She has a gluten sensitivity, and apparently some people in the house ate the food that she was supposed to eat, and that made her upset. But that's a whole separate thing. Like, that's not the only thing that led up to this. But like, I just think she's not in the right headspace for a show like this, because like no one like did her dirty. Beth literally just said like, "Oh, that's who I want," and then the people just followed suit. Like, nobody like backstabbed her. Like, Mark didn't double cross her or anything like that.
Yeah. Well, she said she wasn't doing the elimination because it wasn't boxing and TJ wouldn't let her physically hit Beth.
Yeah, because there's never been an elimination that's like, "Oh, you're gonna punch each other."
Yeah.
Like, it's so the main problem I have with it is it's such a slap in the face to
Mark.
Well, not Mark. I mean, Mark's the one who got it, but it's just like all the production staff, all the people who are giving up their time, who have quarantined to be here, who have gone out of their way, all the dozens, like literally dozens of ex-cast members who would kill for a chance for $500,000 to compete again. Like, we've interviewed a handful of them who would love to be back on the show.
She took my girl Cook's spot.
Yeah. You had alternates that were awesome, and you have this person that quits because she gets upset. Like, it's so stupid. Like, it's such a slap in the face to all those people. It's a slap in the face to all production. And I literally don't want her to ever be back on the show. I don't think she would anyway. But because, like, it's so disrespectful to everybody that you've just taken this spot when you have great competitors like Cook in the wings.
So you're even saying hope to see you never.
Yes, 100%. Because,
PJ said it to her face.
But well, it's stupid. Like, you wasted everyone's time. You quit because you got upset about something. You didn't even try. It's not like anyone did you dirty. And it's just like, get out of here. Like, it's fine. You don't need to be here.
Yeah, well, Zach, I can't argue with you on that.
Thank you.
I thought it was weird, though, because it was like it happened, and that was that. You didn't get much reaction out of anybody. You didn't get much talk of it afterwards. It's just like, she threw a fit. Beth won. End episode.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was weird.
I've got two quotes after her exit. One from John A. saying, "If you want to punch Beth so bad, why don't you use all this anger and punch through the walls and win the elimination?"
John A.'s in mom mode, trying to refocus that energy.
And then Darrell,
she probably wants to hug her.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And then Darrell saying, "This ain't the Brady Bunch. This is the challenge."
Yeah, it's dumb. Like, and again, you wasted so much time. You quarantined for 2 weeks before you could go here. Like, it's dumb. Like, you had a chance at not life, but like $500,000.
That's a lot of money. That would change my life.
Would it now, Han?
It would. It would pay off my house. I could get Zach a new
I know
car.
where he's going with this.
Would it change your life?
I knew
Nope,
exactly.
I'm not playing this game with you. I'm not playing. Quit looking at me like that. I don't like this.
So
stop.
So anyway, like again,
wait a second.
I don't like it.
Would it change? Look at me.
No, I'm not looking at
Look
you
at me.
anymore. No.
All right. Would it change your life?
No.
Jake.
No,
Yes.
I'm not playing this.
Does before we get into the fantasy stuff, does this count as an elimination win for Beth? I don't
Yes.
think I don't think it counts as a technical win.
He's trying to keep me from getting points.
No, I don't
for
know
that.
whose team she's on. I don't know who's.
She's on my team.
I agree that she's safe, but I didn't know if she would get the full points.
I gave her the points.
She was ready
won.
to compete.
No, I agree
The
with that.
horn blew and TJ said Beth wins.
Okay.
Yes.
That's fine. Like I just like because we haven't had this happen since we started doing fantasy stuff. I didn't know how that worked out, and I didn't know who was on what team. If I'm being honest, because I thought Alyssa was on my team. She's not. She's on yours.
She's on mine.
It's just it's annoying. I'll be very disappointed if any of you guys don't give her the worst award this week. Just for the sake of it. I have a problem with it because like it's a miracle that this show exists. Mark and the production team and all that pitched this, got Paramount Plus to sign on for it, spent God knows how much money to make this happen. And
time and effort.
Yeah, and it's been a really great season, and then you have this happen. Like, it's annoying. So, who smashed some heads?
TJ, when he announced to everybody that they have to public vote.
They did get kind of flustered on that.
Beth's kid, he got a 97 on his test.
Yeah, way to
he
smash
did.
that test.
Yeah.
He did. He smashed that test.
I'm gonna give it to Kellyanne because she pulled that rope right out from John A's butt right at the last second, and
Didn't
Kelly,
even give John A chance to make it back up on that platform.
She didn't. So rest in peace, John A. She's not dead. She's with Mama Kim in the sky somewhere.
Just floating.
Who got their head smashed?
Alyssa.
It's got to be Alyssa.
It's Alyssa.
If someone quits like this, get them out of here. And you know what, Jake? I had not even considered the alternates that were basically on site. I completely forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
And
that made you even more upset.
It did. It really,
did.
like, in the
It did
moment,
make
I was
him
like,
more
God,
upset.
that sucks even more because Cook is arguably one of the best one and done people to ever do the show.
Mm-hmm. And I want to see her back so bad.
Yeah. Other than maybe like Svetlana and some of those, she won her season.
Yeah, you just got a weird crush on her.
I don't. You know she has a restraining order against the lead singer of Incubus.
What? Why?
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, she says he stalks her, and he's like, I don't even know who you are. It's a real weird story.
That's a redemption house right there.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, that's what it is. That's the episode, guys. It's a Monday night. We're going to be recording. I'm assuming Thursday this week.
Yeah, may as well.
Yeah, because we're not. If it's a 2-part double Agents finale, we're not recording this week. We're going to record next week, and just do it all as one big thing. I forgot until today, when I was looking back through some episodes, or it was last night actually. I forgot that we made Kayla watch the War of the Worlds 2 reunion, and she
wasn't on that show.
She didn't watch
the season.
We made her sit through arguably the worst part. I mean, not arguably, like objectively the worst part of a season. And she watched it. Shout out to Kayla.
Way to go, Kayla.
You know, you're
fans.
What a sport.
Yeah, you're in the UK. You're getting married. Sam seems nice. Thanks, Sam. Thanks, Kayla. Sam didn't do anything at the time. In fact, we actually introduced her to the idea of Bear because she didn't know who he was before that. So sorry for that one, but thank you for being nice.
We ready?
We ready for fantasy?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get into it. I got it all pulled up already, and I did update it that Tech has been eliminated.
Well, we can't, proceed without mentioning that Starter is the official sponsor of
Eat Fresh.
Just do it.
Just do it. Are you ready, Zach?
I'm ready like a hot machete.
Yes talks chess. 5 points to Yes.
He seems like he'd play chess.
Yeah.
He's smart. He probably does.
He's an architect, guys.
Nehemiah wants to teach Peach.
Peach.
Nehemiah wants to teach people about financial freedom. I'm going to give it 10.
10, absolutely.
Yeah. Jimmy is just enjoying the flirt. 5 points. Beth misses her family. -5. That's sad. Cyrus and Beth, best buds. 10 points to each of them.
Did they do like an original first show together, or did they just meet early on in the challenge?
I don't know, Zach.
All right, thanks.
Cannabis chef Alyssa, we'll give that a 5-pointer. Any chef gets 5 points. Light one up then, Alyssa, 5 points. She lit it.
Did she?
Yeah. Katie has gas in her tank, 5 points. But then we get a not so hot challenge flashback of her, a -5. Let's see. Moving on into the daily, we get a rock, paper, scissors session with Big Easy and Alton. 10 points each.
Who won ultimately? Alton?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't anybody like Kendall here? -5 to Kendall.
Been trying to figure that out.
I guess at one point Kendall had a nice recovery on the rope. 5 points to Kendall.
Got it.
She's also the original Barbie Beast, if anyone was unaware. That's 10 points. Let's see. And then John A. had an even better recovery. That's 10 points.
She did. I thought for sure she was gone. I mean, she's not on anyone's team, but we'll give it to her.
Well, but her butt cheeks may have suffered.
Shuffered.
-5. Hisela gets a perfect 10 for the dismount. 10 points to Hisela. That was per Cyrus, I think, so he gave her 10 points.
Well, he's on my team, so he knew she was on my team too.
Yeah.
We get some sort of music video segment with John A. 10 points.
Did we?
Yeah.
What did it show?
Don't remember, Zach. It's a few days ago.
Okay.
Let's see. She was so close to making it to the end. -5 to John A.
Man, this is the most scoring she's done.
Let's see. I don't know what Big Easy did, but my fantasy point is, what's this method, Big Easy? 5 points.
He was wobbling.
That's it. He was a wobbling, yeah. What it was is he was an overgrown leprechaun taking a poop. I think it was according to Nehemiah, so that's a 10-pointer.
To who?
Big Easy.
That doesn't sound like a compliment.
Katie is terrified. -5. Flashback to her hitting her face again. -10.
God.
She then just jumps off and quits. -5. Hisela is very attracted to Alton. 10 points to Alton.
Which I think they are both married.
I said Alton. You gave it to
Oh,
her.
sorry. Because didn't Kellyanne say like it's really awkward to say how good looking he is because he's got a family at home?
He definitely has kids. We know that.
Yeah.
We get round one winners. Team Black. We've got 15 points each to Kendall,
All right.
Latarian.
You're gonna have to give me a second because I don't remember who's where. Where is
Right
that
under
there?
Kendall.
Oh, good one. Yeah.
Kellyanne,
I know where that one is.
Darrell,
Mm-hmm.
and Hisela. Derek, the Tasmanian Devil, 10 points. Let's see. Beth has an Inner Queen Supreme. I'll give that 10 points.
I lost Derek. Where'd he go?
He's number 1 on my team.
Yeah, so 10.
Yeah.
And then what was the next one? Sorry.
Beth has an Inner Queen Supreme. That's 10 points.
That sounds like a Taco Bell order.
Ruthie is the truth and has more heart than anyone. Per Darrell, 10 points. Round 2 winners. We've got the gold team. That is Yes, 15 points.
Hold on a second. All right.
Ruthie.
Yep.
Derek.
Yep. Man, 3 of them are on your team.
Anissa.
4 of them are on your team.
And Mark.
Hannah got the last one.
Gold are the overall winners.
Mm-hmm.
25 to those same people, which is yes.
Oh, yeah.
Ruthie, Derek, Anissa, and Mark.
Yeah, I got you. We're good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did you give it to Mark? Yep. Okay. It's about to get weird per Mark. 10 points. 10 points to Ruthie for being safe. 10 points to Mark for having the lifesaver.
Oh, I guess that's something we haven't discussed is what happens if you get saved or if he uses it.
Yeah, I'm already on it. Negative 25 to everyone on the silver team because they lost. That is Cyrus.
Oh man, that's gonna. Yeah.
Jimmy.
Yep.
Nehemiah.
Yep.
Beth. And Darrell.
Yeah. Darrell technically was on the other team, but
Well, he didn't win.
yeah.
And another negative 10 to Beth because she is automatically in the elimination that is. Alton's still fishing, 5 points. Katie volunteers herself. We don't reward that. That's negative 10.
Is that what we gave to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Derek's impressed again, though, 5 points. Latarian said that's really hardcore, 5 points. John A. thinks it's dumb. We'll give her 10 because we
She's
agree.
Right, yeah.
The champ is here, 5 points to Mark Long. We got Derek the Jester also, 5 points. What's up with Alyssa? Negative 5. Let's see. We got Mark with the Spider-Man quote, with great power comes great responsibility. That's a 10-pointer.
That's Uncle Ben.
Yeah. Looks like Mark's throwing nobody in. Negative 5. Arissa's going to church in that dress. 5 points.
What?
She had a dress on. Yes,
That's it.
long red dress. That's fine. I noticed it. It's fine.
I didn't notice that.
Mark's not throwing in Arissa either. Negative 5. Arissa don't want people effing with her money. We can all agree with that. That's a 10-pointer. We get a Beth family reunion. That's 15 points.
1 for each person.
Yeah.
5 for each person.
Also, her kid got a 97 on his test, like I mentioned earlier. That's another 5 points. Mark is using the lifesaver. That's 15 points.
All right.
And Katie is saved. That's 15 points. But Anissa don't want to vote again. Negative 5.
But she didn't vote the first time.
Well, but she doesn't like this game anymore. Negative 5.
I just realized, she said that, but she didn't have to vote because Katie threw herself in.
We got heated Arissa. 10 points. Hasella's heated too. 10 points. And Anissa, 10 points. Arissa is shooting spears out of her eyes. 10 points. But she's voted in. Negative 15.
Her and Kendall should both get negative for their dumb votes.
We get... Arissa wants to box. I'm going to give it 5 points because I'm a kickboxer. But TJ's not amused. Negative 5 to Arissa. We getting... Oh, let's see. Oh, yeah. I'm going to give... You know what? Arissa quits. Negative 50. We're giving her negative...
No, I don't know where you were going with this.
Negative 50 because she quit.
Yeah.
She's the one that TJ hit with the don't take care, hope to see you never. That's negative 10. I bet John A wants to hug her, though. 5 points to John A. Derek made the sound of a snake. 5 points to Derek. Beth wins, 50 points. Also, Beth the Intimidator, according to someone, 10 points. And finally, 10 points to Darrell for the "This ain't the Brady Bunch, this is the challenge" quote.
That's a good one.
And those, ladies and gentlemen, are your fantasy points for the week, brought to you by none other than Starter.
Just do it.
Oh, let's take a quick break.
I've got a lot that I gotta add up in between here, including the highest scoring week for sure by John A.
And we're back. And that tiny little 2-second pause there.
Ooh-wee.
I went to use the bathroom.
You were like the Flash.
But we're back one last time. Shout out to Starter.
Just do it.
Pretty interesting week. As of last week, the standings were I was in third place.
Sorry, I just started playing drums on my legs.
Right on your mic.
Is that right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was in third place with 320 points. Jake was in second with 375. Hannah was barely in the lead with 385. But it got very interesting because going through Hannah's team, Mark Long got you 80. Nehemiah got you negative 15. Beth got you 60. Katie got you negative 15. Kendall got you 35. And Latarian got you 20. So that brought you 165 for the week. Jake, Derek K got
Wait
you...
a second. You said Kendall 35. Should be 25. Right? 15 plus 10 is 25.
Yeah.
30.
Oh, you're right. I did do that right. It didn't ultimately matter.
Mm-hmm.
But I did actually do. I didn't see that negative to begin with, so that would have canceled it out. So that's 25. So that brings it to 155, which that brings that there.
He only says the scoring is interesting if he takes the lead.
You think he took the lead this week? Okay.
Great one. Yeah, you're gonna see how good you are at that. Derek's 65 points. Ruthie at 60. Anissa got you 40. Big Easy got you 25. Jimmy got you negative 20. Yes got you 45. And Arissa got you negative 35. So you're at 180 for the week.
Okay.
Wow, okay.
Alton got me 25. Darrell ended up with 0. Kellyanne got me 15. Cyrus got me negative 15. And Hasela got me 35. So spot on with that math there. I ended up with 60 for the week, which is not even half. I mean, if I doubled it, I still wouldn't even get to either one of you. So I am actually in third place still with 380.
Good.
Hannah is in second place with 540. I had it at 550, but Jake would have been in the lead anyway with 555.
Oh!
High five, Jake.
Yes!
They're just jealous because I destroyed them in the other league.
Yeah, well, I just feel good about being in the game, right? For most of Double Agents, I was not.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
weren't.
you were out after like the midway point.
But what pays off is getting the people that are in the final and that who win the final or at least place in it, which is where I just pulled away like crazy.
So my first person got eliminated. It was
I have two. That
it
are
was
eliminated.
my last pick.
Yeah, I mean that's the best person you could have go home.
Yeah. So feel good. I feel good about things. You know, my team's looking really, really solid. Proud of everyone. Everybody's doing a great job.
Hannah's third pick went home, first episode. Then I had Trishelle, which was my fifth, and then Tech back-to-back, which was my sixth, and then Jake, your seventh pick, just went home. So, not as bad, like, what was on Double Agents? I think Wes was your number 2, and he went home.
Well, Ashley was like my number 3.
Yeah, you lost a lot of your big people right away.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're all still good. We all still have our first 2, which, honestly, Alton and Darrell not scoring very much at all for me. And I'm really banking on them doing well in a final or something along those lines. So it's not looking good right now. I'm pretty far behind. But as I said at the top of the show, we're recording stuff for Patreon at some point this week, maybe this weekend. But again, it's patreon.com/smashingheadspodcast. And again, if you're joining now and you haven't been a part of it before, we have a backlog of tons of old podcasts and some videos that are not available anywhere else or We have a video that Jake and I did trivia with a couple other podcasts that's up on there and things like that. So check that out. And again, a couple of our newer patrons are like, hey, I'm moving. And I was like, well, guess what? You got a whole lot of stuff you can catch up on. And so check that out. Patreon.com/SmashingHeads Podcast. And follow us on social media at Smashing Heads on Twitter and at Smashing Heads Podcast on Instagram and Facebook. And if you see that Double Agents is going to be a 2-part finale, don't plan on us having a podcast after part 1. We're just going to do it after part 2. But we will do at least one more Double Agents podcast. And then we're going to be full swing in All-Stars until that's over. And then we'll have our Patreon vote on what season we'll do after that in the meantime, because as of right now, season 37 is on pause because of COVID protocols.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
I heard about that earlier today.
They were, I guess, calls went out and people were on the way or something, and there was some sort of breach in protocol. So now everything is on a pause. So that means it's going to be even longer before it. So we don't know, but good thing is we have Paramount Plus, even if the app itself sucks. It does have good stuff on it.
We're going to go watch a little basketball, you guys. So have a good night, everyone.